Welcome, my friends. Thank you for joining me here at Qigong Monastery. Let's do a little bit of snake and turtle practice, focusing on releasing the neck and shoulders. Soften and enjoy the opportunity to let go. And for those of you who are just joining us for the first time, welcome. Thank you for coming with us along this particular journey. But you might find it more helpful to start at the beginning of this series. And so if you look down below, you'll find links that will take you back to an introductory video and the beginning of this 100-day series. Taking the time to relax that space in the center of your forehead. Softening your eyes and releasing your jaw. Relaxing your throat, back of your neck. Letting go of your shoulders. Elbows hang, forearms, wrists, hands soft, just like we've been practicing. Let go of your chest, your upper back. Softening your belly and your lower back. Releasing your hips, your glutes. As much as you're able to, soften your thighs, releasing around your knees and your lower legs. Even your feet relax. Your toes hang to the ground. Perhaps you can hear the birds and the frogs around me. I'd like to use this as an opportunity to remind you of a very important training tip. One way to speed your progress toward healing is to spend time outdoors, in healthy outdoor areas, hopefully. Someplace that is still naturally in balance. Fresh air, not too windy or blustery or dangerous in any way. Keep yourself safe so that you can deeply relax. Notice the sensation of both arms at once, hanging, releasing, lengthening. Notice how softening on one side helps the softening on the other. In the same way that if your upper back is tight, by continuing to release the middle of your back, it helps your upper back to soften. By beginning to let go of your shoulders, that helps your upper back to soften. Every part of your body is related to every other part of your body. And so as we practice, we want to begin exploring this quality of unification. I've spent a lot of time talking about this part and that section and this channel and this method as a way to help us pay attention. But in the end, of course, our goal is unification. So our whole body moves as one, not just our body. The movement of our breath, our mind and intent, intentless intent, and as well, a kind of unification with our surroundings. Of course, you want to unify only with healthy surroundings if possible. But in this way, the tree frogs, the trees themselves, the earth itself is a teacher. The open sky has a lot to tell you, if you learn to become quiet enough to listen. And so we practice quieting ourselves inside. Our mind slows down, our breath becomes easy. When you're ready, hands resting on top of your navel. Feeling that space beneath. Eventually, as the inside wakes up, we can begin to harmonize the inside and the outside. But at first, at this stage, we just pay attention to what's going on in the more obvious sections of our body. Begin circling. Notice how if your left hand is a little stuck, then it makes it a little difficult for your right hand. If your right hand is helping, it helps your left hand too. Because we're connecting things here, it makes it more obvious, but pay attention to that quality, how the left and the right sides of the body are moving together, not separately. It's not two separate pieces moving, but rather one sharing movement in one single space. Let's do a little bit of left and right, yin and yang balancing. Same as usual. Today, paying attention to this quality of unification. And we'll focus mostly on the upper body, mostly just between the left and the right, because that's a lot of what we've been talking about. Might be the easiest thing to find. Pay attention to the sinking side, as it sinks all the way through, falling and releasing. And with the arms, notice how one side also becomes light and free. And the more you're able to sink and settle through one side, the more light and free the other side becomes. Likewise, the more able you are to become free and light and easy, empty on one side, the easier it is to release through and to sink on the other. We think of them as one side than the other, but it's not really. It's one movement of yin and yang shared in one system. First, it's just an idea, but if you can begin to find that sense, just paying attention to it is enough. Your mind will start to make connections. Your nervous system will start to build those relationships. Let's also release the sides of the neck. Remember to release lengthwise. Just like a tree swaying in the breeze, you don't kink it in the way that the tree would just crack and the top would fall off. No, the tree from the roots lengthens upward through the top. The wind blows, it lengthens, staying rooted, grounded. Full length of the spine, all the way through to the top. Like a cedar tree swaying in the breeze, dancing. And then let's warm the back up a little bit. Take your time softening the lower back, tops of the hips, your glutes. And then snake swaying left to right like a wave, softening the sides of your body. Hands sliding up and down, maintaining that sense of length, like the tree swaying in the breeze. A little softer with each movement. Notice this sinking side makes the rising side possible. The rising side allows the sinking to happen. You can notice how it can be thought of as two movements or more, but if you can begin to notice how it's one movement, even just conceptually, then your practice will improve. Smaller and smaller. Closing. Softening inside. Let's do a little loosening of the pelvis. Both directions. all the way around. Remember to pay attention to the releasing side. All of this time, we're looking to create openness, to practice movement through letting go, not through holding on. If you missed those lessons, please do go back to the beginning of this series and, of course, the overall Snake and Turtle teaching series. Very important quality of our practice. It's a completely different kind of movement. Movement through release, both directions. And then the upper spine, circling like the top of that cedar tree. The full length of the body, the full length of your trunk, from your feet, from your roots, all the way to the top. Beginning with gentle, small circles, of course. Releasing all the way down. Lengthening, softening. As I open to my right, all the side of my left is open. Letting go. At some point, changing directions. Starting small is usually a good idea. Being gentle. Just for today, instead of a snake, you're a tall tree. Flowing water. Looking down between your feet. And let's look up and down several times. Don't close the back of your neck or your throat. And closing when you're ready. Feels good. Let's do a bit more releasing of the neck. Then looking down and up. Remember that you can take as long as you like with any of these practices. Do extra if you need them. There's no set number we're following here. We're following the appropriate amount for you. A little bit of the neck practice. Lengthening and strengthening the back of the neck. Opening that space between the shoulder blades. Don't put too much pressure on there. Using your hands, pushing the back of the head gently. Don't force your way through a blockage. Let's do a little pulling down, very gently, just the weight of the hands. Gently warming and strengthening the back of the neck. Light exercise and pressure is enough. And then let's rest the weight of the hands on top of the head. Aiming to increase that quality of expansiveness. You're not trying to compress. Instead, you're enhancing your body's ability to expand and open, lengthen. And then gently circling forward. Let me move my microphone a little bit. And then gently engaging the rest of the body. Noticing how the movement of one side of your body is part of the movement of the other. There's nothing special to do here other than to notice that quality. Help your body start to wire those connections more closely. Sun's coming out. So let's do some shoulder releases. And I'm excited about this series because it's one of my favorites for teaching this basic unification quality. Remember that part of the reason we move in disconnected ways, imbalanced ways, is because we think of ourselves as disconnected, imbalanced creatures. And so if you begin to see yourself as a unified whole and start to pay attention to those connections, then your body-mind begins to wire them more closely together to relate that intimacy more deeply. Circling the shoulder, both directions. Softening open. One side stable, one side moving. Closing toward that side, opening away. Paying attention to this quality. As many as you need, changing sides when you're ready. At this point, it's okay to improvise the number, the variety of the movement, as you get to know what your system needs most to heal. Both sides at once. Again, I love this movement in particular for teaching this quality of unification. If one side is stuck, it tends to make the other a little bit more stuck. But by allowing both to move together, they actually help each other because they're one body. They're the shoulder complex, but we tend to move them and think of them as two separate shoulders. This funny plural word. Both directions. And then alternating. One side sinks, The other lifts. Just as before, feel how the settling side allows the other to circle up the front or around the back. Releasing on one side helps the other. There's nothing more effortless than this releasing, sinking side, or just letting it go. And that's actually enough to lift the other side. It's like magic. Both then become completely effortless, if we allow them to be. Both directions. Let's do a few of these movements that allow the hand to go behind the head. Shoulder releasing. More effortless is better. The sinking side is enough to lift the other side. Melting at the end, letting go all the way before starting the next one. This shoulder circles all the way around. Shoulder blade sinks down the back. Hands moving away from each other. Sinking helps the lifting as usual. Then we let go entirely, softening all the way down through the body, from head to toe, melting at the bottom. Allowing your body to soften open, settling inside. There's no rush. Paying attention to that quality of unification throughout the body. All one system. Let's do a little bit of black snake. Make sure that you do not twist your knees. Same thing, you soften all the way through, melting at the end. Wait for the movement to get all the way to the ground. Then we start the next side. The softening of the shoulder and the back, whichever position you use, helps to aid the release of the shoulder on the other side. Find a way to shape the movement in the back here to help release the shoulder blade more fully, to soften it in such a way that it makes your upper back move more freely. It's possible to move in such a way that you actually inhibit your own structure and rotation. In fact, we're doing that most of the time, so we want to find another way. Let's do one more, then closing. Feeling loose and free in your body. Allow the softening on one side to help release the other. Your forearms sink. Both sides. Shoulder blades slide down your back. Don't lean back. Don't collapse your back. Careful not to let your chin jut forward. Simply open the chest. Allow it to sink. softening outward. Crown of the head floats up, release your hips. A gentle step. Forearms moving toward each other, settling. Pushing outward, lead with your hands so that your elbows don't pull back. But elbows do lift a little higher than your shoulder if that's comfortable. And then just like before, the shoulder blades slide down the back. Release your lower back, your chest. Open the upper back. Leave the upper back open as you open the chest. Arms move away from each other, outward, not back. Around the circle. Shoulder blades release to the lower back, to the hips. Take your time. Open. Just this most simplified version of this Batwanjin movement. A little bit of white snake. Elbow comes up, but the shoulder blade slides down. Notice how they move and fall together. One helps the other. There's one complete shoulder girdle movement. Chest, the upper back, the waist is all one. Falling down. Both sides moving together. Take your time. Notice that relationship between left and right. They're the same movement, not just simultaneous. In the very least, notice how they move at the same time. They go from being a pair to being a single unit, single expression. Flower hiding beneath the leaf. One movement. Find out how one creates the other. That way you don't have to try to awkwardly time them both to be close to each other, but they create the same movement. Eventually all the practices become very simple because it's just one. Let's practice turning the waist a bit. Don't twist the knees. Same thing on both sides. And some gentle circles. You can do as many of these as you like, whichever direction feels good to you. Slowly loosening and opening, setting the body free. That's the actual goal here. Oh, let's take a nice step out. Lengthening through the back. Release the shoulders toward the fingertips. Soften your neck so your head floats up. Then step, continuing and opening that length. Don't close. Don't shorten your body. Opening. Softening long. Lots of frogs and other animals. Deer walking around. So lovely. Quiet inside, body is quiet outside, gently circling. Releasing obstructions so that the movements become effortless. So the left side releases the right side, the front lets go of the back, the inside, the outside. Your awareness moves out toward the sky, into the earth. Unifying between left and right. Notice the relationship. Build that relationship, connections. Feels good. We've had lots of wind and rain lately, so the ground is saturated and the trees are happy. Leaves are falling. And the air is also saturated with the scent of the earth and the green, that deep petrichor smell, which is just so fantastic, especially right after a rain, just before a thunderstorm. You might start to hear the thunder in the background as it gets louder. It's perfect still time for practice. I'm really happy to get to share it with you. Again, as we harmonize, we pay attention to these shifts in light and breeze and how that changes inside us, and our practice changes as we share that relationship, harmonizing with the Tao. That's what we're really doing here. And you thought we were just loosening up your stiff neck. Ha! Circling this way. The deer like to come through here and push on the trees with their antlers. You can see a little cedar over here that was pushed over. And that's what this movement is. Stag scrapes its antlers, lengthening all the way to the tips of your antlers. Now let's do this one. Softening along the front and then releasing through the back. Remember, it's perfectly fine to only go perhaps to the knees, if that's where your back and your hips take you. And then gently push your hips forward. Don't lift with your back. Your back should feel no pressure during this movement. And then gently lengthen along the front. I'll just keep saying it because I know somebody out there is hurting their back doing this. Only go as far as feels easy. Eventually, you just soften everything that's in the way and your body becomes very flexible. Not because you're stretching, but because you're not resisting. And then to stand up, you just let the weight fall back down. And it stands you up without any effort. That's what the harmonizing creates for you. But you can only find it if you keep letting go, you keep softening, looking for an easier way. Otherwise, your body only does things the hard way, for no reason. Fall through the legs. Let's do one more of these. The air is lovely. Just between storms. So let's try the turtle drinking chi movement. Remember to blend the last two movements together. Sinking down Release your back, the back of your neck, opening. Opening along the front, waving down. Stabilize, release, and then again. Only sink as far as feels easy. No pressurization. And then again, you let the weight fall down through to the feet, and that's enough to stand you up. Crows are talking to each other. They always have a lot to say. I like to talk to them and practice my crow calls, and they'll come and yap at me. So let's do this version of the movement. Notice the movement coming through both sides, lengthening up, expanding upward, softening, so your hands are dancing in the air. Gathering the sky down through your body. It soaks through, softening. You don't pull it down, you just let go and get out of the way, and it flows through on its own. Same with the earth. Gently releasing upward, making space. And so as the earth flows up through, especially to your lower back here, tailbone to lower back, and then into that space between the navel and the spine. Washing down into the ground. And then because you've made space, the ground naturally washes back up into you. But don't do anything extra. Let's do one more. Letting go all the way through to the ground. softer is better. When you learn to listen to the frogs, they'll often tell you when the rain is coming. Between them, the clouds coming our way. Again, another perfect practice for finding that relationship between the left and the right. Try doing this with one side stuck, or your arm in a cast. It's not the same. But if you release them both to be one movement, one expansion through this part of the body, outward to the fingertips, maybe you can notice how the chest is part of that, as is the upper back, the neck. Maybe you can even find that solar plexus, the belly, the rib side, the lower back, they could also be part of this movement. If you're able to find that, you're really doing well. Continuing to notice this. It's not a bunch of things moving together. It's one expression of a single movement going through. Movement starting in your mind, or with the frogs, perhaps. Oh, feeling rain. Those frogs, best prognosticators. They have the weather in their back pocket. It's always good to ask a frog what it has in its pockets. Paying attention to the whole body. Awareness sinking deep toward the bones. Noticing how different you feel. I should put my things away before they get caught into the rain. Thank you so much. Your homework is to pay attention to this quality unification and find out how you can become one whole person, as you always are. Enjoy your practice.